Hi, my name is Zarina Begum Ebrahim, and today I'm going to present my research topic, which is the effect of talent management on employees' retention, a study among professional workers of selected government-linked companies in Malaysia. Talent management and employees' retentions have been debated for few years. As we can see, talent management in Malaysia is initially being introduced in the sector of government-linked companies. However, the major issue that impedes GLC's performance is talent shortage. Halisa 2012 reported that there was now an increased demand for highly skilled professional workers in GLC. Jauhar and Muhammad Yusuf 2011 said that massive brain drain is an ongoing problem for organizations in the country and the scenario has caused shortage of professionals in Malaysia. In spite of that, this research is significant considering GLC is important in the creation of employment for 5% of the national workforce. Besides, the main contributions of the study is that by researching in Malaysia, especially GLC companies, researchers can help provide further insight for the organization on how to adapt their talent management practices fitting different industries as well. Therefore, this study aims to highlight the effect of talent management practices in retaining professional workers in 5 selected GLC companies in Malaysia. Next, looking on the problem statement, attraction and retention of talent for a reasonable time in an organization is a major challenge facing by public and private corporates today in all sectors. According to Halisa 2012, lack of availability of highly talented and skilled employees make finding and retaining talented employees a major priority for organizations. She also reported that there was now an increased demand for highly skilled professional workers in GLC that able to meet the changing requirements of the increasingly globalized and borderless workplace. Moreover, to the best of our knowledge, very few studies have attempted to study the talent management practices in Asian countries, especially in Malaysia. Shortage of data is usually cited as the main reason for the lack of research on talent management practices in Asian countries. Despite a lot of academic work from several researchers, more exploration is needed to understand the effect of talent management on employee retention. Therefore, by conducting this study, organizations will be able to ascertain appropriate approaches in order to hire, retain, and keep the top performers. Thus, the purpose of the study is to identify the relationship between talent management practices and employee retention among professional workers from the selected government-linked companies in Malaysia. Next, looking on the literature review, retention is viewed as the strategic planning and how the organization maintain valuable employees in the organization. Meanwhile, talent management can be defined as a well-planned and systematic process of identifying, developing, and sustaining the talent. Meanwhile, looking on the scenario, employee retentions and talent management have been a critical issue for many organizations across the globe and an equal challenging situation for the HR managers. Thus, the cost of recruiting employees and low retentions of expert employees are major expenses for any organization. According to previous research, there were lot dimensions in talent management. However, this study focused on performance management and rewards and compensation. Naresh Babu, 2017, noted that performance management is an important criteria in employee retention. Meanwhile, Lockwood and Walton 2008 said that one way through which employers can retain the workforce is through offering a good reward and compensation package. From the literature review, we have developed our framework, and this is the framework for our study. Next, for the hypothesis. For this study, we have formulated 2 hypotheses. Next, moving to the methodology. The research design used for the study was the correlational research. In this study, the population consisted of 140 professional workers from 5 selected GLC companies. The target respondent for this study are the professional workers because they can provide reliable and relevant information to the researcher in studying the effect of talent management practices. The sampling technique used was census sampling, and the data were collected through self-administrated questionnaire. Next, moving to the findings of the study. Based on Table 1, the finding shows both variables are significantly correlates to employees' retention, where the p-values is below from 0.05. Performance and management portray the highest correlations on employees' retention. According to Table 2, almost 49.2% of the variation in the employee's retention is explained by the variation in both independent variables. Table 2 also shows that only performance management positively affect on employees' retention. Meanwhile, rewards and compensations were found to be insignificant. Thus, this study have reported a mixed findings, with some reporting positive relationship while the other reporting negative relationship. Moving to conclusion, the finding portrays that performance management had a rather positive impact on employees' retention as compared to rewards and compensation. The result also indicate most of the employees in the government-linked companies were retained in the organization if their performance were well managed, such as giving feedback of performance appraisal and recognitions for the good performance by the management. The finding also imply that in this organization, performance management is carried out and performance review focus on evaluating employees' competency and ability. On the other hand, rewards and compensation do not influence employees' retention. Findings from the study indicates that majority of the respondents felt that they do not have the chance for the salary increase and disagree that the benefit they receive as good as most of the organizations are offering. Thus, it is the primarily important for the GLCs to successfully implement an effective talent strategy as it is considered as an asset for the organization. And lastly is the recommendation. The study should include other variables of talent management practices such as training and development, succession planning, selection, and communication. Besides, the research can also be made at other places such as public sector, hospitality industry, or oil and gas industry as the talent management practices that the place practice may be different than the GLC companies. Besides, GLC needs to provide frequent meetings between the employees and management to discuss the performance, solve the problems, and receive training in order to retain the employees with the company. Thus, it helps the employee to realize their strength and weakness. In order for the GLCs to sustain and expand their operation globally, organizations will have to rethink their approaches to the talent management and how its effect to the employee retention. Finally, high level of employee engagement in the organization is believed to improve the talent retention and employees' individual performance, which in turn can have a positive impact on the organizational performance. That's all my presentations. Thanks for listening.